Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, I think. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. We got some things we got to talk about. There's some new breaking news that's going on right now. And honestly, he's cooked, y'all. It's going to be a wrap. Yeah. It's about to be a wrap for Shay Shay. But we have got to talk about this. This is crazy. And we knew that there were going to be other allegations and other things coming out. But this stuff is some serious stuff. It's not just allegations. These are alleged police records, police reports, arrest records, and whatnot. This is not good. This is not looking good for Unc. It's not looking good for Shannon Sharpe. This is a big deal. Okay. So again, please do me a favor before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Make sure if you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you are subscribed or following on that page, on those pages. Please hit that follow button. Subscribe here on my main channel, here on the YouTubes. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. There's a lot of things I'm talking about over there that I'm not talking about over here. So make sure you subscribe to both channels. Hit that notification bell on both channels so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. So make sure it's set to all. That bell is set to all. Because a lot of times, there's a lot of these breaking news stories and a lot of things that are just breaking at random. So a lot of times, I'm going on random. All right? So make sure you're doing that. Also, hit that join button down below. Become a member if you want to support the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. Okay? That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, guys, we got to get into this conversation because I'm telling you right now, I have a feeling there's going to be a video a little bit later on this afternoon that you guys are going to be shook on, or maybe some of y'all will be like, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I have a video coming out here in this afternoon that if you are keeping an eye on this case and this whole situation revolving around the Shannon Sharpe shakedown, all right? And I guess that's in a question mark at the end. The Shannon Sharpe shakedown is the question that still remains. But nonetheless, there have been, there's a lot of new allegations that are starting to come out. Some old things that are starting to resurface and rear its ugly head to come back and bite Shannon Sharpe in the booty. This is absolutely insane. And I have to say, this is crazy. All right. This is absolutely nuts. Now, one thing I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you guys about. Yeah, the Shannon Sharpe, down. I mean, there's a lot of shush. But anyway, it's kind of like everyone's like, shh, right? But here's something that's very interesting. Something that I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you guys about. So I wanted to share with this with you guys before we go into the new updates. Because like I said, these are damning. All of these things. This is not good for him. At the end of the day, we knew, I'm just going to say this too. We knew that this was inevitably going to happen, that there were going to be more people stepping forward, more allegations, more people that might just try to either grab a bag or see this as an opportunity to step forward and tell their truth. Let's be real. We have both those sides of the fence, which is annoying, which is terrible, because you want to believe all victims. You want to believe what's really going on here to be truth and nothing but the truth. But at the same time, we live in a world, our universe, in this universe, because, allegedly there's a multiverse, according to Marvel. In this universe, there are people that are going to try everything they can to get the monies, to get them bags, them greenbacks, them dead presidents. You get what I'm saying? And the cash. And I get it. All right. I get it. But at the same time, I don't get it. I mean, I get making money, but on lying on something like this, I think is absolutely deplorable. But unfortunately, we live in a world where that exists. So you still have to leave that on the table. And I know that's a terrible thing, but those are the breaks. That's just how it is. So here's the thing. There was someone else, not the Jane Doe, Gabriella Zuniga, not Carly, not the OF model that has been coming out here dropping bombs of evidence harder than Hiroshima. There has been in the past there's been a couple things in his past that are now starting to show itself. And it's been very bad. Now, this is something that came out about 6 days ago, right after the allegations came out on him with this Jane Doe or the Gabriella Zuniga situation, where we talking about black pleather straps. Okay, that whole situation there, which is also looking very, very bad for Shannon Sharpe. There was another person that allegedly accused him of R. No, I'm not kidding. A whole novel woman came out and said that he R'd her and then threatened to ruin her life, threatened to ruin her in a completely different lawsuit. And this happened only a couple years ago, by the way. Or actually, I'm sorry. This happened about 2010, if I'm correct, which is absolutely crazy. And now this information is starting to rear its ugly head. Like I said before, I said, okay, this could get as bad as Diddy, but I don't think it's going to get as bad as Diddy. But I think that it's going to get pretty bad because, he doesn't have Diddy money, but he got money. He is a name. He isn't huge. He isn't a massive name like Diddy with decades long being in the public eye and highly revered and respected by people, by his peers and by the court of public opinion. But at the same time, he's out here. He making that Skrilla money. For those of you guys who are going, what's Skrilla? It's money. It means money. But he's making a lot of change. That means money too. And now all this stuff is coming out. So some people are going to go, hey, wait a second. Let's time out. Okay? Let's time out. This is some serious stuff. Now we got another woman saying that he did something to her a little over a decade ago. And it's the same type of breakdown, which is threatening to ruin her. He forced himself upon her, allegedly. This is not looking good, guys. Long story short. So let me quickly get into this because we got the other video, or we got this other article we got to get into, and that is the main topic of the show. But I do want to share this one with you guys because no matter what, there is definitely something going on here, and there is definitely, as Nicole B just said, said twice is a pattern. It sounds like it's 4 times now, and if it's 4 times, then it's a habit. It's more than just a pattern. This is just it's his way of life. If these allegations are to be true, let me just say that as well. If these allegations are to be true, this is a bad situation for Shannon Sharpe. And I will also say this man has lived a long life, but at the same time, there's been plenty of people who have lived a long life without really putting their hands on people. But then I've also seen people who have had a history of putting hands on people and I don't know, what's the word? Make their lives better, right? Rehabilitate themselves and become better because they realize, okay, putting your hands on somebody is wrong. Not only is it illegal, It is wrong, right? And I've seen plenty of people bounce back from doing bad things. Plenty. Now, I'm not condoning putting hands on somebody and saying, "Oh, well, they still got a chance to learn what, to learn from their mistakes." No, don't put your hands on anybody and just be done with it. But I do believe that there is room for reconciliation, for rehabilitation, and to lead a nonviolent life. I do believe that. But like I said, even with his long life he's had, 50 some odd years on this planet, you'd think that he'd learn from his mistakes and not continue to do these things. You see what I'm saying? But now we're hearing that he's done this before, way before he was doing, race play and BDSM and all that crazy stuff. I'm assuming, unless he was a freak of league back then too. We don't know. But let's get into this. So again, he was accused by another woman for R-ing her, and then, of course, threatening to, quote unquote, ruin her life. So let's go into this. A second woman, claiming to be Shannon Sharpe's ex, previously accused the former NFL star of R. Michelle Bundy Evans, who allegedly dated the sports commentator for nearly a decade, filed a lawsuit against Sharpe in late 2023 for defamation, libel, and slander after previously accusing him of SA. Wow. So first off, filed against him in 2023 for defamation, libel, and slander after accusing him previously of SA. Now, I'm telling you right now, we're seeing these are all allegations, but haven't we seen this pattern so far? Did he not let his lawyer expose Jane Doe's name? Did he not go onto a video and go, "Hey y'all, this is Shannon Sharpe. I got something to say." So on and so forth. Her name, I got these allegations by Gabriella Zuniga. You might know her as Carly on OF. He said those things. So I could see that this is not a far cry from his MO. Look, filed a lawsuit for defamation, libel, and slander after she had previously accused him of SA. So he went out of his way to try to drag her name in the streets, try to destroy her name, as we saw in the title, ruin her, okay? Because she made these accusations in the past of SA. Now, I'm telling you right now, let me be clear. This is wrong, okay? Just so you guys know. That was a little Obama for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Stretching out those. Let me be clear. This is wrong. Okay? This is very wrong. No matter what is going on. If you are being accused of R, S, A, S, B, putting your hands on someone, whatever, you don't go out of your way to be like, "Yo, I'm about to destroy this particular person out in public." It comes back to bite you in the butt, y'all. It looks bad. At the end of the day, it looks bad. Didn't Jay-Z look bad when he was trying to expose the Jane Doe? Didn't he look really bad? I mean, now that lawsuit has been dropped and he's been exonerated for these those allegations and all that. But at the same time, in the very beginning, when he was like, "Not one red penny," and he's being extremely mad and aggressive, it didn't look good. So when he goes out, when somebody like Shannon Sharpe goes out of his way to sit there and say, "Yeah, this is Shannon Sharpe. Her name be Gabriella Zuniga, also Carly on OF," that's not good. That makes you look bad, y'all. That's not something you do. Long story short, it is no bueno. It means bad news bears, and it also gives you a very bad look because it shows that it shows some semblance of passive aggressive intimidation or just blatant intimidation. Real talk. Because as soon as he said her name, everybody combed. They scorched the earth trying to find who this Gabriela Zuniga person was. They scorched the earth, okay, looking for information. They found the wrong Gabriela Zuniga, put her face all out there saying, oh, this be Gabriela, look at her. He was clapping cheeks with this Gabriela Zuniga. That Gabriela Zuniga had to come out and say, excuse me, guys, that's not me. Unfollow me. It's not me. Right? That's what happened. Because people went scorched earth trying to find her. Okay? Then they found her. And now everybody been talking. And everybody's throwing, even myself, we're throwing up photos of her on thumbnails and all that stuff. She has been fully exposed. Now, I don't know how she feels about it. She might love it. I don't know. But one thing is for sure. There was a reason why her name was Jane Doe. The reason why she was hiding behind a pseudonym was specifically so she wouldn't get public ridicule. But he said it not only just in paperwork, but also on video, y'all. So it wouldn't be super out of nowhere for someone in his past to say that he tried to defame me, slander me, because I came forward and said that he R'd me. So again, there's a pattern. There's a rhythm here for sure. Okay. And the rhythm's going to get him. I had to. Rhythm is going to get you. But let's get into this. Let's continue on. All right. So Evans, okay, so Michelle Bundy Evans claimed he aided her in 2010 after they got into an argument about his alleged infidelity. Sound familiar so far? According to court documents obtained by this article, page 6. So, moving on. She claimed Sharpe proceeded to forcibly subdue her, compelling her to her knees and subsequently engaging in non-consensual top. All right, because we got to use. I can't think of any other term. She was forced to give him some brain. I don't know. Just not good. All right. Consumed by fear and the perplexing nature of his actions, I harbored a deep-seated apprehension that resistance would precipitate further detrimental outcomes. This is what she alleged further. According to the complaint, Sharpe, quote-unquote, maneuvered her onto the bed and achieved non-consensual other type, non-consensual activity, carnal activity, okay? All while proclaiming his intent to make it so no other man would want her. I'm sorry. That's no bueno, cabrón. No bueno. But so apparently, after he was receiving something from her that she did not want to do, he took her to the bed and engaged in non-consensual spiciness, okay, sideways samba, all the while saying, I want to make it, it was his intent to make it so no other man would want her. He wanted to, quote unquote, ruin her. He then threatened to, quote unquote, ruin her reputation if she chose to share the details of this actual incident. This is what she alleged. He levied threats of ruin, declaring that any attempt on my part to disclose his transgressions would meet with a comprehensive campaign to, quote unquote, use everyone I know to destroy you, the lawsuit claimed. Use everyone I know to destroy you. Insane. Moving on. Evans went on in her lawsuit to accuse Sharpe of making public remarks on his various platforms about their legal feud, which negatively affected her reputation. So again, if you notice, this is the same MO that we're seeing right now with the Gabriela Zuniga. He's going out of his way to show, because optically in the public eye, it looks like he's just being fully transparent and, of course, getting ahead of the allegations and all that. But it also could be a tactic to try to destroy that particular person's story, their side of things. Listen, it's Shannon. It's your boy Unc. It's Shay Shay. You listen to me because you have this podcast. I'm all up in your ear. You trust me because I'm such and such. Oh, and by the way, drink my cognac. You see what I'm saying? So I can see him doing something like this in the past too, using the platform, using his power, the power of his voice, the power of his influence to try to get ahead of something, to sway the public opinion from actually believing the actual victim. I said it. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear, okay? Anything's possible in this situation. He could be innocent on all of these allegations. He may not have done any of these things, right? But at the same time, you still got to look at both sides of the fence here. One side is sitting there saying, hey, it's a shakedown. It's a Shannon Sharpe shakedown. That's what it is. And then there's another side being like, well, wait a second. Maybe he has done this before. Maybe he has done this. Maybe he is a freak of league and he just didn't know when to stop. When it comes to the Gabriela Zuniga case, maybe he just didn't know. Maybe he was so high. Maybe he was so zooted that he was just in mid pump and he did not think at that time. He was too taken up, swallowed up by the throes of sexual passion. Maybe he just didn't realize it, right? There's plenty of reasons and plenty of sides and angles you can look at this entire case, the first case. But then you look at this situation where she's saying, and this is way before Gabriela Zuniga even filed a lawsuit. She is saying basically he went on to his platforms. He went on to make remarks, public remarks on his various platforms about the legal feud, calling her out, I'm sure, by name, trying to destroy her name. But because he has more power over this particular woman, over this particular victim, I can see her sitting there feeling some type of way. But like I said, he could very well be innocent, but the moves that he's putting out here optically could look very, very bad for Mr. Sharpe. Just think about it for a second. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're on his side or not on his side. Just think about it for 5 seconds and you're going to see, oh, dang, okay, this pattern does not look good. Even if he's innocent, the pattern is not good, y'all. Let's continue on. So, of course, he made remarks on various platforms about their legal feud, which negatively affected her reputation. Again, let me repeat this. He just did that again with the Gabriela Zuniga situation. So there is most definitely a mother-loving pattern. Evans also placed a restraining order against Sharpe following the 2010 incident. However, she later dropped it out of fear for herself and her child. This is what she told The Sun in an interview published Thursday. After I filed the restraining order, I was sitting in my apartment with my daughter. I had a basement floor apartment with a door leading out to the sidewalk. So I was right there, vulnerable. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up, you effing B word." And I ran and dropped it right then because I had a child at home with me at the time. And having someone coming to my door with her there, with her there, with her there. Okay, I don't know what she means by this, but and having someone come to my door with her there, that no. So again, she felt scared, dropped the restraining order because people were sitting there running up, knocking on her door. She was getting doxxed. People running up to her door and all that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Gabriela starts getting doxxed, which by the way, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you dare do that. Leave that woman alone. Leave all these people alone. Leave Carmelo Anthony's family alone. Leave Carmelo Anthony alone. Leave Austin Metcalf alone. Metcalf's family, alone. R.I.P. Austin Metcalf. But like I said, leave both families alone. Quit doxing people. It's illegal. It's wrong. And you're going to find yourself in a heap of trouble if you get caught or when you get caught. But in a statement obtained by Page Six, a spokesperson for Shannon Sharpe denied the allegations, saying in part, Michelle Evans' claims are ridiculous and completely without merit. The rep also added, Shannon has had no contact with her for many years. Shannon is currently facing, which we already know, at least $50 million for R&B, okay, from a Jane Doe, but we already know who she is, what her name is. All right? So again, he's vehemently denying any of the allegations that are set forth against him with the Gabriela Zuniga lawsuit and this one with Michelle Evans as well. But again, this is also an ex-girlfriend that is speaking out and saying, hey, he took advantage of me. I filed a lawsuit against him. Then he went on his platforms and defamed my name. Dragged my name through hot coal, basically. Dragged it through hot coal. And then in 2023, she tried to, or I guess she sued him for defamation. Now, I don't know whatever happened to that lawsuit. But again, still, extremely bad. Okay? And let's see. That's interesting, Pete P. Thank you so much for the comment. Colin Coward, he owns Volume, which we talked about yesterday, which also offered Shannon Sharpe $100 million for not only just Shannon Sharpe's shows, but also for a gangload of other shows that he, I guess, has been bankrolling as well. So it was more than just Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. There were some other shows that he had under his belt, okay, that he was financially bankrolling as well. So that was going to be $100 million deal for a whole bunch of shows to be under this platform, okay, called Volume. All right. Both worked at Fox, and Colin knew all Shay's issues long ago. He was okay with it as long as it was secret. ESPN also knew everything, but hid it. Diggity damn. Now, if that allegation is true, Hamburger, the things they will do for money. Let's be real. Shannon Sharpe, when he does his shows, he's got a massive crowd. He still has one of the most viral conversations ever made with Cat Williams. Now, if you haven't seen the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay, then you've been living under a rock. But it broke the internet 50 times. All right. It destroyed the internet. And where was Shannon Sharpe? All up in that video. And he made a pretty penny off that. So then he goes off to ESPN, First Take. He's sitting across from Stephen A. Smith. He's making his comments. And they say the ratings have been better than they've ever been before because of his contribution, because of Shannon Sharpe's contribution to the show. That's how much influence Shannon Sharpe actually has. Think about that for a second. That's some wild stuff. And again, with that kind of power, I guess people will overlook crimes of your past unless it gets unearthed and then it's out there for everybody to see. Maybe that will change people's perspective instantly. They're like, oh, we already know about all the allegations and the arrests in the past. No big deal. We're going to move on, though, because you were bringing too much money to the show. We're getting new sponsors and we're getting new ads where more and more people are looking at our show. Look at the Nielsen ratings. They're going through the roof because you've been added into the show. So forget it. We will ignore all that BS. But then as soon as it gets unearthed, that's when they're like, oh, we're appalled by what happened. But if you notice, by the way, if that's the case with ESPN, at least, if you notice, why wouldn't they sit there and say, why haven't they come out with a statement? Isn't that interesting? We have yet to hear from any of the higher ups of ESPN make a statement about what happened here, about this whole situation with Shannon Sharpe. Even if they say, hey, let him step aside until NFL preseason, which I'm going to be real, he got fired. He got fired. If Jason Kelsey takes over the job, he's fired. I'm sorry, but that's without question. Shannon Sharpe got fired. If we see in the next few episodes, you got Kelsey sitting in his slot, it's a wrap, son. Okay, you can basically say his job at ESPN is over. Okay, but interesting that they're going to allow him to say, I'm going to step aside and let this whole thing go down, and then I'll be back for an NFL preseason. Well, okay. Why wouldn't they just say we're firing him, or we're going to go into investigation, we're going to put him on probation so we could do this investigation? But they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They let him do the step down or stepping aside. Ain't that a little weird? No statement from ESPN at all. None whatsoever. And maybe they're not trying to take anybody's side. Maybe that's what it is. But at the same time, you'd think that they would still sit there and say, we don't stand for X, Y, and Z, but still we're stepping, we're looking at, we're doing a deep dive into the situation, and we're going to see what happens and see how things unfold. We haven't heard anything from them. And that could very well be because they may have known about these things from his past. You don't think they already knew? Just saying. So something interesting. Nonetheless, something very, very interesting. And you see that there is a pattern here. There's most definitely a pattern. And that's not good. Because he's doing this. He did this before with Michelle Evans. Now he's doing it with Gabriela Zuniga. And now there's more information that's coming out. And again, this is what sucks about these kind of situations. Because instead of it just being a one-time incident, because usually this is what I keep thinking, like, man, can we just have like that one guy who's alleged and say it's not true and it's just one person and it's just one time and that's it? Not like a trove of people stepping out and saying, oh yeah, he did that to me as well. Oh yeah, me too. You know what I mean? Now it's getting to that place where it's getting there. And I have a feeling we're not done hearing about these allegations with Shannon Sharpe. There may be other OF models, that have been tied up in black leather scraps as well that may be coming out with more information. You never know. This is going to be insane, y'all. Like I said, this is crazy. I still don't think it's going to get to Diddy level, but I do believe that there could be more women stepping forward and speaking out. And this, again, like I said, is bad. All right. But hold on real quick. Rianne, thank you so much for the 2 memberships. Thank you so very much. Welcome to the family, you too. Rianne just gave you some love. Please do me a favor. Pay it back. Pay it forward. Okay. Simply by opening the door for somebody, being kind. Okay. Paying somebody a compliment. Make a cup of coffee for somebody. Call your friend. Call your mama. Call your dad. How about that, dagnabbit? Check in on your loved ones. Just call them and say, hey, just thinking of you, wanted to see how you're doing. It's 5 seconds. All right. That would be amazing. Also, Carbonized, thank you so much for being a member for over a year. Dang. If you don't want bad things said about you, very simply, don't do bad things. You're absolutely right. It's cheaper than trying to get J-Lo's love. I believe in yous. That was a good one. It is cheaper. It's definitely cheaper than J-Lo's love. Okay, dag nabbit. And her love don't cost a thing. So, just saying. That's funny. Okay. Black Skate, thank you so much for the love. There's only one man where it was only one woman accusing him. Shout out to Johnny Depp. Oh, snap. Good one. Very good point, right? And she tried to destroy that dude. And then, of course, we saw her just destroy herself in court, which was pretty insane. But nonetheless, like I said, there is a pattern here. Doesn't mean that he did all these things. No, not entirely. But it is damning. It is very damning. So let's take a look at this. This is also something else that I think is very interesting as well, because now they're saying that he was arrested twice for attacking two different women decades before these two other lawsuits had come out. This is crazy. So let's take a look at this. Attacked two separate women. Two separate ones. I'm telling you right now, all the endorsements that he has, the deals, we already know about the $100 million deal falling apart. That whole thing fell through the diamond cracks, okay? But still, this is nuck and futz, all right? And the fact, oh, wow, it's just, and how people are unearthing these things, insane. So years of trouble, as they said. So the U.S. Sun, the article we're reading here, can exclusively reveal that the famed NFL player turned sportscaster has been charged or was charged with I can't use these words, okay? Got to use these code words, in 1995 and in 2004. Oh, man. In one incident, Sharpe got into an altercation with a woman at his Atlanta home in January of 1995. A police spokesperson said at the time, each said they were hit by the other. Oh, damn! As a result, both Sharpe and the woman, whom the U.S. Sun has chosen not to name, were charged with simple battery. The woman was also charged with destruction of property after she allegedly broke some quote-unquote glasses and things, according to the spokesperson speaking to the Washington Post at the time. More charges. Less than a decade later, Shannon Sharpe found himself facing similar charges stemming from an incident with yet another woman inside his Atlanta home. Damn, another one at his home again. Just 5 years later? What was it? 1995. Well, sorry, 9 years later? That's crazy. A Fulton County clerk confirmed to the U.S. Sun that Sharpe was charged with simple B on July 22nd, 2004. A woman claimed Sharpe lifted her up to physically remove her from the home. The alleged incident occurred in June, and the woman reported it to police 2 weeks later. Then he reportedly turned himself in and was thrown in jail. He posted a $1,000 bond less than 24 hours later. His attorney at the time claimed Mr. Sharpe would very appropriately and lawfully simply picked her up and gently put her outside of his home. The case was ultimately resolved in mediation. So in other words, he paid her off, I'm assuming. But one thing's for sure, let's just be real. If he picked her up and gently took her out of his home, and if that is actually true, then where's the B word? Where's the mannery? Where's that? That's the one thing I'm kind of curious about. The fact that he actually turned himself in and then was thrown in jail is something else as well. But it does make you wonder what actually happened. And a lot of them seem to be something that has to do with him and his infidelity ways. His gallivanting with these damn scallywags. Think about this. Every single one. We just heard from Michelle Evans, right? Michelle Evans, she said the whole thing started when she came to him, was stepping to him about his infidelities, right? That actually happened. And then he attacked her. Then these women, it seems like they're in his home. One of them is, destroying things all throughout his home, breaking glasses and things. Of course, she was charged for that later. They say that they hit each other, which is bad. They both were brought in and were processed, etc., which is very bad. But all of them have to do with him putting his doggone weed whacker in other people's gardens. That's all it is. So if he would just keep it in his doggone pants, I think he'd be okay. But of course, now the people are sitting here saying, oh, yeah, he has some sort of a S addiction. That's what's going on. An S addiction. He just loves him some S. And it's like, come on now. What human being doesn't like the hibbity dibbity? But also, you got to be respectful of the people that you're with, right? If you are in a monogamous relationship, which should be understood, you shouldn't be walking around trying to get your rocks off with other people. Come on now. So again, this looks like a pattern of him swashbuckling with a whole bunch of scallywags. All right. Shouldn't be. Sounds like these girls, these ladies, these women that were in his life, pretty mad, pretty upset that they would start acting a fool in his crib. Why don't you take him to a cheesecake factory? You know what I'm saying? Like, after the first time, it's like, yo, you know what? Before we do anything, before you start going off in my crib, why don't we go to this cheesecake factory around the corner? You know what I'm saying? Let me buy you some food, and we could talk about it there. And if you want to act a fool, you can act a fool over there. All right. I heard Cheesecake Factory got bomb ass food. No, it doesn't. The food's terrible. No seasonings, like not at all. But anyway, you know what I mean? Take her to a Outback Steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse, something. Just take her somewhere. Just not there. You feel me? Just not in your crib. So that if somebody has to forcibly remove her from the premises, it'll be a staff member. You don't have to touch anybody. You don't have to do a damn thing. You just sit there, have your cake, and eat it too. Hey, ha. You know what I'm saying? T just said, you better eat that cake, anime. Eat that cake. That's terrible. That's not good. Not with this. This is terrible. Okay. Nutbush. Moving on. If nobody's seen that movie, come on, Nutbush. Nobody. Oh, Nutbush. Nobody with the Nutbush. Nobody. Terrible scene. Terrible scene. But oh, Nutbush. Moving on. Okay. Just watch the movie. Man, Angela Bassett, though. Angela Bassett. She's a beast. Anyway. And Lawrence Fishburne, he's fantastic too. Great movie. Classic. Nutbush. Okay. Now, come on. So again, this woman was in his home and then there was some problems. And he had to pick her up and carry her out. She could be exaggerating. That could be possible. The other one, they both admitted to police that they put hands on each other. The first one in 1995. This one in 2004, she could have just been mad and saying, he put his paws on me. How dare he? And he's like, well, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm going to turn myself in. That's possible. That is possible. But it is in records nonetheless, and it's not a good look. So let's move on. He turned himself in. He was thrown in jail, $1,000 bond. Okay, less than 24 hours he posted. So His attorney at the time claimed Mr. Sharpe was very appropriately and lawfully simply picked her up and gently put her outside of his home. Hopefully that is true. And of course, that was resolved in mediation. So I'm assuming that he paid her out of pocket behind closed doors in a settlement. An Atlanta court clerk told The Sun they believe the cases have both been expunged. When contacted by The Sun, Shannon Sharpe's lawyer said in a statement, it should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from the alleged relationship. In many cases, these stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact. They are shared on social media or fed to reporters with intentional factual omissions and no regard for the truth. This is obviously purposeful, designed to create a fabricated narrative. Now, I just talked about this in another video on a completely different topic, but it is interesting nonetheless that you have two charges where he has been hit and alleged of putting his paws on two separate women. So at face value, yes, this looks very bad. This is not good for him. This is terrible for him. This is not how we should be seeing him. This is not the light we should be seeing him, especially when he's being alleged of putting his paws on his Jane Doe in that other allegation. Then on top of it, we heard about a previous girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. So not some girl that he had some sort of financial relationship with, a person that he had a relationship with steps forward and says, he put his paws on me. He told me he was going to ruin me because she caught him with his hand in somebody else's cookie jar. So of course the other ones are going to start coming out. But I will say this. His lawyer is not wrong. We've seen this a couple times so far with the Diddy situation. We've been seeing all kinds of people coming out. Some of these allegations have been wild. Some of them you have to pump the brakes and go, is that real? Because it feels like a script to a Tyler Perry movie. I'm not kidding. There's been other ones where you're like, oh, damn, that one's bad. That one's really, really bad. And that's very damning for Diddy. But there are others that, there are people that are going to come out. There are going to be people that are going to come out and try to destroy that famous person's name because they have money. Or it's because of fame and they want an opportunity to tell their story so that maybe they can turn it into a movie and get a movie deal. I'm not kidding. You don't think some of these people would try to do something like that? Yeah, I witnessed everything. I saw it all, bruh. Here it is. And then, the title of the movie or the book is, I was there. I saw it all, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So again, I wouldn't be surprised if more and more information comes out. But these that happened in 1995 and 2004, one of them definitely, he says he admits to putting his paws on her. That's for sure. They were both fighting each other, which I keep saying, keep your doggone hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. That's all I say. But they both got arrested for that. The other one, he says, or according to his lawyer at the time, he did everything legal. All he did is pick her up and take her out of his private domicile. He still turned himself in. Everything was allegedly, those things were expunged. Those charges and the dispute between those two in 2004 was taken care of in a settlement. Is that full? Does that exonerate him fully? No, not entirely. because we only have his story and we only have hers. And somewhere in between there is the truth, but we don't know what that is. But nonetheless, they did happen. These two arrests did actually exist. And with everything that's going on with him right now, this is not a good look for him. This is not how he should be doing. What he should be doing is trying to let the law, let his lawyers do the work rather than get out here and talk crazy, say things that he shouldn't be saying, exposing people, exposing the Jane Doe, which he shouldn't have done. That's a bad look, guys. Like I said, it's a bad look. Even when Jay-Z was trying at first to expose the Jane Doe, that is a bad move. It looks bad on that person, on the accused, because it makes them look monstrous. And what did he do? What did Shannon Sharpe do? He went online, did a video, put it all out there, because he knows for a fact that they're going to be diehard fans, Shannon Sharpe fans, Club Shay Shay fans that are going to instantly believe him as soon as he starts talking. He's got that power. The power of the voice is a really amazing thing. It's a double-edged sword. It could be amazing, but it can also take somebody out. Especially if you're using that power for bad. That's a skill. That's a power to have. The skill to be on a camera, talking to, on a microphone, talking to thousands, if not millions of people every single week or every single day. That is an amazing power to have, and you must use it for good. The way he's been using it lately has been very bad. Okay? Has been very, very bad. Let me take some of these super chats. Black Skate, thank you so much again for the love. They really need to look deeper into CTE. There's such an overrepresentation of these dudes involved with violence against women compared to other sports. Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing all kinds of crazy stories, and yeah, I could see maybe they need to see if there's if there's breadcrumbs, right? If there is a full-on connection between those two things, CTE and DV, that happens with some of these former NFL athletes. Or, in fact, I forgot her name. May she rest in peace. But there was a woman. She was a black woman. She was unalived by her boyfriend, white man. He was very violent to her for a very long time, and then one day she lost her life due to this guy. I'm forgetting his name, but he was an NFL player as well. And so instantly, yeah, some people were going to remember that case, but this was years ago. We talked about this years ago. And no one listened to her. No one listened to her cries for help. And then, of course, one day he took it way too far and took her life. Now, I know that he's locked up now, but I don't know if he's been to court yet. I don't know if because last I checked, there was some delays in his trial, but that was years ago, by the way. But again, instantly you start thinking about those. Or there was the other NFL player that went out to some very rich area and took the life, took a weapon, okay, a pew-pew, and went into this home and just did a mass tragedy. No, it's not Hernandez. Definitely not Hernandez. But those things are very, very sad. We don't see packs and droves of OJs in track. No, you don't. You are not wrong with that. You are really not wrong with that. So bring it up. Thank you so much for the love. Welcome to the family, new member. Welcome to the family. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I mean, it is pretty crazy what happened, what has been happening here. Hold on, let me see something. I thought I saw something. The Ray Caruth. Is it the Ray Caruth? Oh, well, the Ray Caruth story also. I don't think I know that one. I don't think I know that one. Chad Wheeler. Yeah. hold on, Chad Wheeler. Yup, this mother lover. Hold on. Shout out to Twitch. Comment from Cluminati. Thank you. Chad Wheeler, white NFL player who was attacked. His girlfriend, Aaliyah Taylor, nearly to her demise. Yes, that's the one. Man, I it's like I said, it's tip of my head, tip of my brain, tip of my tongue. Hold on. Boom. Trying to pull this up, or at least a photo. Okay, so she's not gone. I thought she lost her life, but hold on, guys. I'm trying to pull up a photo. Come on. There it is. So this couple, yeah, I was wrong. I thought that they were they lost their I thought that she lost her life. But like I said, it's been so long since I've seen and heard about this case. But she was viciously attacked by her boyfriend. Okay. And Chad Wheeler, Aaliyah Taylor, and of course he was found guilty of putting his hands on her. But some people were looking at it and going, maybe that's CTE. Maybe that's an example of CTE. It may be. It may not be. I really don't know. I mean, some people are just vicious. Some people are just violent, right? Yeah, no, I know Italian. I'm going to look that up too. Ray Caruso. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. What is this one? So he's an American former football player who was convicted of conspiracy to commit unaliving or conspiracy to commit M. He played as a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. That's very interesting. That's really sad. Now, again, we've seen countless stories of CTE in the past. Okay. But now we got this going on, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to this Shannon Sharpe situation, this is very bad. Okay. I really do wish that this would be. Here it is. We still don't know everything yet. All right. We don't know if somebody, if all of the allegations that have recently come out, we don't know if this is a full-on shakedown. We don't. We really don't. But we do know that there's been a lot that's been looking really, really bad for Shannon Sharpe. The audio recordings that have come out, those are really bad. The allegations, the alleged video that is apparently out there somewhere that Tony Busby and his team actually have possession of. At the end of the day, this is not good for them at all. Period. Very bad. But at the same time, all we could do is sit back, wait, and see what actually happens here. Now that we have more information about his 2 arrests for putting his hands, allegedly, one is definite. One is most definitely him putting his hands on somebody, a woman. And then the second one is most definitely up in the air because it's her word against his. I'm going to be real. I'm sorry. We, as much as we are, jumping back and forth on either side of the fence on did he do it or is he guilty or is he not guilty, blah, blah, blah. We have to keep it even. That one, those are just allegations. We weren't in the room. What he was charged with seems like things got expunged and he worked things out outside of court. Maybe he did those things and he wanted to get those things squashed so that he can move on. with his life and build the career that he has to this day? I don't know. All I do know is that he definitely has a history of putting his weed whacker in other people's gardens when he shouldn't be doing that in the first place. And I think that he's gotten a lot of women very upset, understandably, and that's what's causing all of this drama. Let's be real. If you really think about it, he got caught. Actually, the whole world caught him when he was going and he was blowing some girl's back out live. Blowing some girl's back out live on Instagram. And during that time, he was I guess, in a relationship with Gabriela Zuniga. So when you see all that, it's like, oh, once again, he put his weed whacker in somebody else's garden when he shouldn't have been doing that in the first doggone place. Real talk. He shouldn't have. So again, that could make a lot of people mad. Even if you are in a relationship that is transactional, that could make a lot of people mad. Very mad. But I guess we're going to see what happens here. And what's interesting, when people say simp, like Axel said, simps never learn. What I find very interesting about this is, okay, first off, when it comes to the simps never learn type of thing, okay, let me just be real. Okay. I feel some type of way about the simp thing. Okay, because apparently these platforms don't like you saying that word either. I know that's insane. But anyway, him of all people, he got money. He's got success. He's in great shape. Whether that is, whether he's using a whole lot of gear or not, I don't care. That's his life. But he looks great and he's successful and he's got a massive audience. Why does he need to pay for those things? Seriously, think about that for a second. Why does he need to pay for that type of thing when he is who he is? Unless he has a really specific age or age range that he likes to be in as far as his dating pool. That's also insane, by the way. But at the same time, if that's what he likes, I feel like why wouldn't it be? How is it that difficult for him? Why does he have to do the simping? And what that word is basically somebody who is, kissing up to a particular person or particular, to a particular woman, all that stuff. You could say the same thing about a woman too. Okay. Oh, she's simping the hell out of this guy, blah, blah, blah. But it's more mainly for guys who are doing that. They'll basically do anything for that particular woman, right? Because that girl's so fine, I'll drink her bath water. And they actually do drink their bath water. You know what I'm saying? It's those people. Oh, how much? I'll pay whatever it takes for one night with you. That's insane. And especially when it comes to successful men. That's the one thing I find very strange. Because if I was single and I was at Shannon Sharpe's level of success and a girl sitting there telling me when I first meet her, $25,000 per cheek, that is the last conversation I have with that woman. But again, I got standards. Just like every other man should have standards. I'm sorry, guys. Some of y'all need to wake the F up. Have standards. Ladies, too. I'm sorry. You guys aren't out of the conversation. Some of y'all need to have some standards, too, dagnabbit. Some of y'all lower your standards just so you can have a little bit of loving at night. And that's on both sides. That's on men and women. Real talk. And then you find yourself sucked in, totally sucked in, screwed, sucked the F in with that person. And then you wonder, how the hell did I stay? how am I with this person? How did this happen? Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, we met here. You start doing reverse math because you are still going, how am I with this crazy ass dude? How am I with this crazy ass girl? How did this happen? Oh, damn. I lowered my standards at that time. Damn. I lowered my standards. I'm just keeping it a bean. I am. And now we're seeing somebody at his stature, at his level of success, is doing whatever he can to keep his bed warm, or actually not his bed, but maybe his black leather straps warm, which is insane to me as well. Okay. It just doesn't make any sense. Stop lowering your standards, everybody. That's just what I say. All right. Find somebody you care for. Find somebody you trust. Love them unconditionally. Love them like you're going to lose them tomorrow. And I think you're going to be fine. Cherish every moment you got. And this love should not be transactional. That's what I said. Transactional. Transactional. I don't know. You know what I mean. Okay? I call it transactional. So, Grace, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for being a member over 22 months. Woo! Almost 2 years. Appreciate the Bone Thugs reference in the pop-up earlier. Had a lot of great memories rush back. Very nostalgic moment during a dark topic. Of course, you're very welcome, Grace. You know, we're here for the conversation and for the love and the laughs every once in a while. I mean, you know, with all this gloom and doom, some people just don't know how to act right. Okay? And sometimes you just need to, kick back and have a little bit of a chuckle every once in a while. A lot of gloom and doom in this world. Let's be real. And a lot of what we're talking about is gloom and doom. What's the news? Very rarely do we see good news coming out. Okay. But, like I said, yes, thank you. Okay. That's what I meant. There it is. Thank you. She it's the Pascalism. There it is. Transactional. All right. That's what I call it. Okay. And I know it's transactional. Okay. But I say transactional. it's actually transactional for that activity. Just so you know. Just a new word. Just like black pleather straps. Just so you know, that t-shirt is going to be coming out soon. I'm telling you what's going to go down. Okay, it's about to go down. So get ready for it because it's coming very, very soon. Big girl for life. Thank you so much for the love. You're literally explaining my whole entire marriage. He was one way when we met. And then he turned into a totally different person. Just finalized my divorce in January. And hallelujah. Well, hey, good on you. Here's the other thing too. I mean, I'm glad. I guess congratulations is in order, I guess. But when it comes to those kind of things, it's like I said, I know this sounds crazy, but it's like, I say you should still appreciate the relationship that you did have with him, because at the end of the day, now you know what you would be willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with, right? It's like, oh, I don't want this kind of person in my life. I thought I did, and now I really don't. I don't see it as a mistake. It's a learning lesson. And now, if you are to find love again, which I hope and I'm sure you will get that again, you'll be able to say, hey, all right, I saw these red flags before and I ignored them, but now I'm going to start looking at them. I'm going to listen this time. And I think that's what it is. And I think that's the same thing with men out here in these streets. They are willing to move the goalpost or ignore a whole bunch of red flags because the woman they got on their arm maybe is aesthetically a bombshell. They look great on Instagram. They get crazy likes and views, whatever it may be. And that person's going, that guy is literally going, I cannot believe this person likes me. And I say, F all that. Find that person that you appreciate and that appreciates you for everything, all the way down to your dirty drawers. Real talk. Or you're going to have a very uncomfortable relationship. You'll just be walking on eggshells for the rest of your life. It's a waste of time, y'all. We all know better. And I'm telling you right now, this is for both men and women, but I'm going to say once on one way, just so you know. That great looking woman, for example, or that great looking guy that you meet, there are a slew of other ones that actually have substance, that actually have character. They do exist. They are out there. So don't just settle. And stop, guys, rich guys, don't stop doing these transactional relationships. They're only going to bite you in the butt. Stop wasting your time and hold on to your money. Dag nabbit. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of the conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be talking very, very soon, okay? We got some things to talk about, some pop-up videos coming up in the next couple hours, so be on the lookout for that. Stay positive out there because we need more positivity. We need less beat buttholes out here in these streets. Real talk. Lead with love, lead with positivity, and hopefully you get that stuff back. When it comes to this Shannon Sharpe thing, dude's in serious trouble. He really, really is. This is not good. But anyway, guys, please be sure to hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button, please, and thank you. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on my platform, go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. That's more like the B-sides of the things that are going on in the world. So please go and subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell on both platforms. Set them to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right, guys. But anyway, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll be talking very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.